Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The Warriors are looking for a trade partner to improve the roster and report the loss of De'Anthony Melton. The Brooklyn Nets could be the ideal partner, as there are two great players who fit perfectly with the Warriors. Trade tip: Warriors sign two great players. The Golden State Warriors might have to make a move to acquire one of these two talented frontcourt players. The Golden State Warriors have started the season as the best team in the Western Conference, sitting as the number 1 seed with an 11-3 record through the first month of the season. They've been convincingly beating teams on both ends of the court and are third, plus 10.2, in net rating this season. Even with their success, it's no secret that the Warriors were heavily monitoring stars available for trade over the summer. They had public trade attempts for Paul George and Lauri Markkanen which failed to materialize, but insiders believe the Warriors are likely to make a trade sometime soon before the trade deadline. With the strong start to the season, the Warriors don't need to make a blockbuster acquisition. Instead, acquiring a player who will perfectly complement their current roster would be ideal, especially with De'Anthony Melton's season-ending injury. As a result, we think Brooklyn Nets forward duo Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith could be on the Warriors' wishlist ahead of the trade deadline. Johnson is averaging 18.1 points and 4.3 rebounds so far this season, providing extremely high-level wing play for the Nets. With the franchise reportedly making everyone on the roster available for potential trades, Johnson might be the one to generate the most interest. He's a three-level scorer who is shooting 39.3% from three-point range on 7.8 attempts per game. The Warriors' motion offense would be perfect for Johnson to thrive within, especially in a frontcourt pairing with Draymond Green. The price for Johnson won't be small, so the Warriors will likely have to part with a young asset like Jonathan Kuminga or Brandon Podziemski. If they continue to hold them as untouchables, Andrew Wiggins might be sent away with additional first-round picks to satiate the Nets. Johnson makes $23.6 million, so the Warriors will either need to use Wiggins' $26.2 million in salary to make a deal happen or club multiple contracts with Kuminga, $7.6 million, or Podziemski, $3.5 million. If this is a price too steep for the Warriors for a rotational forward, looking at Johnson's teammate Dorian Finney-Smith could bring ideal results. Finney-Smith isn't the offensive spark plug Johnson is, averaging 11.2 points and 4.7 rebounds on 42.5% from three this season. But he's an extremely dependable frontcourt defender who plays with high IQ and versatility to be on the perimeter or on the inside. Offensively, Finney-Smith is a corner specialist and can knock shots down from deep. We've seen him sink 8 three-pointers in a playoff game before, so the veteran forward could be an incredible addition to the lineup as a capable shooter who will match Draymond's defensive intensity. A deal for Finney-Smith, $14.9 million, wouldn't be too expensive and could let the Warriors keep their prized young assets intact. A first-round pick alongside someone like Moses Moody could do the trick, with Moody still struggling to find his role on the franchise despite being extended on a 3-year, $37.5 million contract over the summer. The Nets can add some solid young assets from the Warriors if they engage in a deal for either of their two veteran forwards. Golden State has a clear use for them to ensure they can compete for a championship once again, so it'll be interesting to see what direction the franchise goes closer to the trade deadline. Two players could be on Warriors' radar ahead of trade deadline. The Golden State Warriors might have to make a move to acquire one of these two talented frontcourt players. Warriors star bashes haters shooting down title chances. Draymond Green is not worried about detractors downplaying his Golden State Warriors this season. Green is well accustomed to the NBA world scrutinizing his team and diminishing them as title contenders. The Michigan State product recently spoke with Fox Sports 1's Rachel Nichols and slammed haters who are minimizing the franchise amid their hot start to the campaign. The same people that counted us out, saying a jump shooting team would never win, that the first one was luck, then we won the second, and it was like, oh, had to go get KD to do that, then you win the third one, then it's because they got KD, then you go and get the fourth one, and then they are done. You just kinda learn that most people who talk basketball just don't know basketball. There's just so many naysayers all the time. The same idiots that have been saying all of this since 2015, Green said. Green's Warriors are no stranger to haters. The Warriors were questioned for their first title in 2015 after beating a severely short-handed LeBron James-led Cleveland Cavaliers team that saw his all-star teammates Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love get injured for the series. Kevin Durant teaming up with Green, Stephen Curry, and now former Warriors star Klay Thompson had many pundits and fans scoff at their ensuing titles in 2017 and 2018 due to them being an overwhelmingly stacked team. Even more so than their most recent championship season in 2022, the Dubs are exceeding expectations. This might be their most impressive showing in the Curry-Green era. Both stars are aging and without Durant and Thompson. Yet, the Warriors, 11-3, are the number 1 seed in a tough Western Conference. They're the third highest scoring team in the league, 119.6 points per game, and one of only 3 teams outscoring opponents by double figures with a 10.5 ppg margin of victory. They're also second in rebounding per game at 49.1 rpg, despite being grossly undersized. Golden State still looks like the best passing team in the association. Their three-point shooting is still potent sans Thompson, and their stars have been showing out of late. It's too early to definitively tell if this Warriors team is for real or not. Though, judging from what they've shown so far, they look like a team that can make a real run in the 2025 NBA playoffs. https://www.si.com/nba/lakers/news/lakers-land-star-damian-lillard-in-dash-team-trade-proposal-0one-JD7YG4RBX6. How the Warriors are using creativity to solve a classic Andrew Wiggins problem. He had 27 points against the Atlanta Hawks in what has been a solid early season for the wing. There have been many nights where cries for the Golden State Warriors to pressure the rim and attack the paint were commonplace. For a team that doesn't rely on traditional or conventional sources of rim pressure, the unconventional method being the outside-in approach made possible by the likes of Steph Curry and Buddy Hield, and Klay Thompson in previous years, finding creative ways to solve a deficiency problem, i.e., generating rim pressure, while staying true to their overarching offensive principles has always been their modus operandi. This creativity on offense can come in many forms: a certain formation, certain movements, certain personnel, certain screen types, etc. Commonly, the Warriors, with their motion offense, have preferred to space out and invert the floor, with their big up top handling the ball instead of parking himself in the low post and/or the paint. That requires their bigs to be adept at making decisions with the ball, knowing how to deliver the ball properly, and knowing what to do once they've given the ball up. It equally demands certain requirements of the 4 other players on the floor, knowing what to do if and when the ball comes their way, reading the defense and making decisions off of what defenders decide to do, and, perhaps the most important one, the ability to put pressure on the rim and make split-second decisions with defenders crashing their way. For obvious reasons, Curry is the poster boy of all of the above, especially while coming off of one or multiple screens. But while he can touch the paint and draw defenders on his downhill excursions, he is somewhat limited by his lack of height and the micro-decline in speed and burst. If not Curry, it has mostly been other movement shooters such as Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, prior to being ruled out for the season due to ACL surgery, Lindy Waters III, Moses Moody, and to a lesser extent, Brandon Podziemski, who have been the recipient of off-ball screens in inverted floor setups. But curiously, albeit not to the same extent and volume as the aforementioned players. Andrew Wiggins has also gotten some of these reps. In all of those reps, a common theme has emerged, born perhaps out of a need to simplify decision-making on the move for a player not particularly known for making advanced reads and high degree of difficulty deliveries. Take note of this possession during the first regular season game of the season against the Portland Trail Blazers, with the Warriors out of their delay action, a 5-out inverted floor setup with their play call being open. Curry drifts toward the corner to set an away screen for Wiggins, followed by Wiggins receiving the ball on a handoff and driving downhill, called Chicago or zoom action.